YouTube, and we got here an awesome deck profile of one of my favorite and most fun decks ever to play, and that is Ghostrick. So before we get in, I just want to talk about how the deck actually runs. It's pretty much just a stall deck, so that if you don't really like the whole stall aspect, don't play it. I definitely don't like to play this aggressively because I don't want to run into Mirror Force with Deep Prison, because Deep Prison I have no answer to whatsoever, and Mirror Force, while I do have some answers to, I wouldn't want to waste those answers to it. And that end, if they have a Mirror Force and I'm just not attacking, then it's a dead card for them. And so, to me, it's this complete stall, and the win condition of this deck is to just deck them out with Skeleton. So let's get right into the deck profile. Skeleton, flip them up, banish. From the top of your opponent's deck face down up to the number of Ghostrick monsters control. So you can do a number of 5 or 1 if he's just here, because he includes himself. So you can banish top 5 cards of your opponent's deck, and if you can do that in multiple turns, keep on doing that in multiple turns, then you will just win and you will just deck your opponent out. Because more than likely you will just hit certain cards that they just won't be able to do anything against. Tour Guide makes a free allo card. Now there's another reason I wasn't originally wanting her, but yet something came out, and so I decided to put her in, and I'll get on to that a little bit later. Jonxi, she searches any Ghostrick monster from your deck whose level is less than or equal to the number of Ghostricks you control, which is a Book of Moon. So she's really nice. Karkardi, because literally you can search 5 times in one turn and then Karkardi, and it's just so nice. And then you have Cat Girl. Cat Girl is very important to this deck, because if you control another Ghostrick card, a Ghostrick monster, any level 4 or higher monster your opponent normal or special summons is flipped face down. So that is really nice. And then Ghostrick Doll. She, when she's flipped face up, it's a mandatory effect, so that kind of becomes annoying, because sometimes you don't want to use her effect, and yet you want to get rid of her. Yet when she's flipped face up during the end phase. So the really important thing about Doll is if you want to stop her effect, you have to stop it when she's flipped face up. If you let her flip face up, then you cannot negate it during the end phase. So during the end phase, all face up monsters go face down, and you special summon a Ghostrick whose level is less than or equal to the number of monsters that will flip face down, and that includes your opponent. So that's really nice to get your opponent's monsters face down, which is a key aspect to this deck. Ghostrick Jack Frost, he pretty much he negates an attack, flips one of your opponent's monsters face down, and he summons himself. Note, he does not target none of the Jack Frost nor Lantern, who just negates, doesn't flip it face down, he just negates, does not target. Yet Lantern, on the other hand, he can negate an attack against a Ghostrick monster, and a direct attack. So that's really nice. Running 1 Mary, and Mary is when you take damage, you can send it to the graveyard. You can discard this card, special among any Ghostrick card from your deck. And we're only running 1 Mary because I pretty much feel that Doll replaces Mary. She's much faster, and I really don't like to take damage, because I'll get onto that later. Triple Upstart, running Triple Upstart, yeah, it helps for their Soul Charge, but yet we're not really caring much about life points, so to me it's just like, why not? It just helps make the deck a little bit more consistent, and so I just have the Triple Upstart here. Terraforming, because we need our field spells. Pot Duality to help dig deeper, and Ghostrick Parade. Now this says monsters cannot attack face down defenseless monsters, which is pointed because if you have like one face up monster and the rest are face down, they have to attack that face up monster. And then, be it if all of them are face down, you can attack both players can attack their opponent directly. Your opponent cannot take any damage whatsoever. And when your opponent monsters declare a direct attack, you can add 1 Ghostrick card from your deck to your hand. So Ghostrick Parade is the main searcher of the deck. Seeing how we're not caring much about life points or about doing any attacking or damage, we're just using this guy to search out all of our Ghostrick cards. And really, when your opponent makes 3 attacks in a row and you chain with Jack Frost or Lantern to negate a couple, it's really nice. Now note, you cannot search out Jack Frost and then negate. Jack Frost and Lantern have to already be in your hand when Parade is activated. You can chain them to Parade, but you cannot activate them after Parade has resolved. So that's really nice. The Mary, on the other hand, if you know you don't have a Jack Frost or a Lantern, or you're not going to be taking that much damage, you can search out Mary and use Mary, because Mary activates during the damage step. So Parade is pretty much our main searcher of this deck, and it's really nice when because you can just plus off of it for days. Ghostrick Vanish. Ghostrick Vanish is really broken because this turn Ghostrick cards cannot be targeted by or destroyed by card effects. So that prevents them from just a variety of cards and makes it really hard for your opponent to get rid of your cards, because if you do get field advantage, like your opponent's gonna make Excite Knight, they're gonna make Black Rose, and then when you pull this card out, they just lose their entire field, and you have yours, and it's just so annoying for them because it protects your monsters and your spells and traps. Ghostrick Panic. We're only running one of these, kind of because it can be protected by Scare or by Vanish. Because if this was like a continuous, then you could flip face up and it wouldn't be. Yet it isn't, so you can't protect it with Scare. And it's kind of iffy. Like, I've heard many people say it is good, and it is good. I suggest running at least one. Yet it's not the best of cards for a Ghostrick. It just flips all your monsters face up and flips all of your opponents face down, which allows for a variety of different plays. And I have one mainly just so that way I can get rid of Doll, because there's a trick that I can use to get rid of Doll. And then Compulse, you can use to stop an attack or just get rid of a monster. So I just have that one Compulse in here. Triple Ghostrick, go around, and pretty much it's just this one attack per turn that I can negate, and I just like that so much. If once per turn, you can just negate it. An attack by flipping your face down, monster face up, and flipping their face up, monster face down. But note, if you use Ghostrick Vanish, you cannot use Ghostrick go around that turn, because you cannot target face down defenses or monsters. That's something to note. Ghostrick Knight pretty much says your opponent cannot flip summon monsters, which, if you remember, Catgirl flips them all face down, so that's pretty much how the deck works. You get Ghostrick Knight, Ghostrick Catgirl, and put all of your opponent's monsters face down, and they cannot flip summon, and if they normal or special level 4 or higher, it goes down immediately. And it's really nice because if you get out Dolhan, he can have, or if you have like you could do it just, you need to have another Ghostrick card in order for Catgirl's effect to go through. Yet if you could do it with just any Ghostrick card. If you really have all your opponent's monsters face down, then they just can't do anything at that point. And so that's pretty much the main deck. Let's go on to the extra. Triple hour card. Pretty much the extra as a whole is just the Ghostricks. Like, that's what you really need to know, is just the Ghostrick card. So triple hour card, if anything, I'm gonna pull out 2. I don't really pull out 3 at all. So you can knock one down if you want, be it. Triple hour card. Levier, he's really nice. Just in case your opponent does get off a banish or does something, he can be really nice. And this deck can easily side in macro and defissure, so Levier could be a really nice possibility to go into. Tempo, just another possibility if your opponent has some XZs. Succubus is really nice because she can destroy face-up monsters on the field whose attack is less than or equal to the total attack of all Ghostrick monsters, so that can be pretty high or very low. She instantly destroys any monster that has 14 or less attack, because both she's a Ghostrick card that has 1400 attack, and so she can just get rid of a lot of cards, and your opponent cannot use that monster card as long as you control a Ghostrick card. So even as this card leaves the field, as long as you have a face-up Ghostrick card, the opponent cannot use that monster card zone, so you can really hurt your opponent with that. One mirror, and if this face-up card would be destroyed, you can detach one XYZ material from this, and level 4 lower monsters you control cannot be destroyed by card effects. So it's kind of nice. And Dolahan, he has an attack, so he's really great to stop an attack. And he gains 200 for each Ghostrick card you control. That includes himself, so pretty much most of the time he's has 1200 attack. And if you have like Go Around or Night, that boosts them up, or Parade, it boosts them up. And that's really nice. So he pretty much just has your opponent's monsters, and he's really great. I like to have him out with Catgirl, so that way if they do something like a level 3 or lower monster, I can have it, and they can't do anything. One Utopia Roots, because he can negate an attack, which is really good. One Slacker Magician, and one Lionheart. Now, I did mention at the beginning of this that I had put Tour Guide in because something came up. I had found out that there's a new Ghostrick XZ coming out. Unfortunately, it's not on Dev Pro just yet. Yet it is really, really nice. It has a win condition. The win condition is that if it has 10 or more XYZ materials, you win the duel. And well, let's first talk about its basic thing. It's a rank 4 XZ monster that you can XZ summon using any Ghostrick card, any Ghostrick XZ monster. So you can use Alucard, Succubus, or Dolahan, and you can just plop her right onto those guys. and then so instantly she can have a max of 3 XYZ materials Alucard and the 2 tour guides, or Dolhan and the 2 level 1 monsters, or the cubes and the 2 level 2 monsters that you have attached to her. And so she can have, so that pretty much gives you 7 turns, because once per turn you can attach one Ghostrick card. Note that, so you can attach Scare, you can attack Vanish, Go Around, any Ghostrick card you want to her. And that includes extra dolls or Johnsons or witches. So you can attach any Ghostrick card you want to this new XZ, and so it gives your opponent 7 turns. But here's the even better thing. Once per turn you can detach to search out a Ghostrick spell or trap card. And that is amazing. Because there is no good way to search out Ghostrick spell card except through Parade and Stein. And Stein and Parade don't mix well because Stein has to inflict damage and Parade says your opponent takes no damage. So we get this new Ghostrick card, I think it's called Fallen Angel. Ghostrick Fallen Angel, she just detaches and searches it out, and then if you have a card that you can just reattach to her, you can keep the level the same. And so at the beginning of the game, you can use it to search and get all the cards you need. At the end of the game, you can use it for the win condition, and that really helps a lot because sometimes you get a foggy field, you have all 5 monsters out, your opponent can't get rid of them because you have Cat Girl, and you can't summon Skeleton, and you're just gonna deck out because you've just done so many searches through your deck and your opponent has not. Because this deck searches a lot, and if it wasn't for Skeleton banishing 5 cards every time, you would lose. So this new XZ really helps in those aspects because most of the time you easily can get out at least one of the XZs at one point or another. And so I'm really excited for that card to come out. The other thing that it does that I like a lot is that it triggers Alucard's and Dolhan's other effects. And they have another effect that says, if this card is sent to the graveyard, target one Ghostrick card in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. So let's say one turn you search out a Vanish, and then next turn you have to use it. You don't want your play to be destroyed with something, you have to use Vanish. Next turn, you can use the new Ghostrick card, detach Alucard, and instead of searching out a second Vanish, you can search out a Roll Shift for a Go Round. And then use Alucard's effect to get you back Vanish. So that is really nice. And you can do the same thing with Dolhan. He has the same effect where if he is sent to the graveyard, you target one Ghostrick card in the graveyard, add that target to the hand. So you can detach Dolhan and Alucard and get cards from your graveyard, which is really, really nice when you can cycle like that, which is something that the Ghostricks didn't have. They have this new card, I think it's Ghostrick Tree Break. Let me just look it up. What is that other Ghostrick? A lot of these other cards I just decided not one. Like if you want, you can run in Mummy, because that allows for more normal summons and allows you to get out a lot more cards. Ghostrick Break. When exactly one Ghostrick monster controls destroyed by opponent's card. Strike 2 Ghostrick monsters in graveyard with a different name than the destroyed monster special summon. So this is the only card out right now that really is great for cycling for Ghostrick, yet it definitely is not worth it. I feel because one, you're trying to make sure your monsters don't get destroyed with Vanish or Parade, so they're going to be attacking you directly, and you're going to use Vanish to protect your Cat Girls or your Skeletons. Well, yeah, it can, yet it is nice, because if it does go off, it is there, be it. Otherwise, I just don't see room for it, really, because, like, most of the time, I don't really need it, like, yeah, like, if I can get out of, like, a lot of my cards in most of my duels, like, I have this deck in real life, and I've gone to locals and played with it before, and a lot of times, like, the monsters I start off with, they normally leave the field, but once I get Parade, Go Around, and a Vanish, like, at that point, like, all my monsters are just gonna stay on the field, and they just can't do anything at that point. And so, I don't see room for Ghostrick Break yet, so that's the only card out there right now that cycles, yet the new Ghostrick Fallen Angel is definitely going to help use Alucard and Dolhan's effect to cycle, because they don't say monsters. This card says monsters. These guys say Ghostrick cards. So that's even better, and that's really nice. As for what I take out, I definitely take out Tempo, definitely take out Mira, and I take out Lionheart. Those would be the 3 that I take out for the new Ghostrick XZ card. And I'd leave Root, Slacker, and Levier, because Levier, you can easily run macro and defisher in this deck, so Levier can be a really nice card to go into to get back some cards. And Utopia Roots is still a negate, and Slacker can still stall. which is what the deck is all about. As I said in the beginning, it's all stall. You're trying to deck your opponent out. We're using skeleton, and sometimes you just get lucky. You banish 5 cards, you get the 1 card that they needed. I've gone up against people who sided out a lot of cards to side in against this deck, and they just couldn't see any of them until I won, because I was just able to banish them. And so it adds a lot of luck aspect to this deck, be it if you do it right, you're just gonna hit it no matter what, because you're just gonna banish and banish and banish, and your opponent can't do anything because you have Vanish and Catgirl. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck. It's a really fun deck. I really like it, and I feel it's one of the most fun decks to play right now. Cosmic Dragons are slowly coming up on me. I really like Cosmic Dragons, but yeah, Ghostrick still look like a very fun deck to play. And there's a lot you can do with it to make it more stall. I could even see you running Yugioh with this, with how much it's just deck goes through. You could run like Mystic Piper and kick a bio with it if you wanted to. So there's just a lot of possibilities you could do with this deck. Hopefully you guys have fun with it. And stay tuned for tomorrow, where we will have a deck profile, not a deck profile, a duel. This is a deck profile. We will have a duel with this deck, and hopefully our opponent doesn't get too salty there. Because a lot of times I play one Ghostrick card and they're just, nope, I'm gone. And so that's one reason why I like to play this deck at locals, because I know that people aren't gonna quit. But normally I'm like the last person dueling when I play this deck. Everybody else is like, when's the next round gonna start? When I finish. Sorry, he has 5 cards left. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this deck profile. Stay tuned some more, and maybe give me a like, subscribe, or comment. I really appreciate comments. Comments are the best thing you can do for my deck right now. I mean, for my channel, I really like it when people comment, even more than a like or subscribe. So stay tuned for some more videos on Yu-Gi-Oh, and see you guys later. Bye. Hey, if you could click on the links on the annotation to see the duel with this deck or some of my other videos, that would really help. And check out the links in the description to watch some of me and my friends' videos, and even something that could help make this deck a reality for you. See you guys later. Bye.